Before working with us, the client had already been exposed to the rooming house strategy through similar education circles that we've been involved with. She'd met my dad, Mark Baker, previously. She's also had several in-depth discussions with me around other potential projects, and she's also has met and spoke directly with our builder. So by the time she decided to move forward, she felt very confident because she'd met everyone involved and she knew she was dealing with a solid, experienced team. The big reasons were our experience and track record. We're very clear about the process, the costs and the expected returns from day one. Another huge factor was speed. So this particular project was built in just over 3 months, and the plans and permits was also relatively quick. I'd say all up, this was roughly a 6 or 7 month project from start to finish, which is which is a very fast project for something of this scale. I think like most investors, there was some initial hesitation around cost. You're buying a block of land, you're building a high-spec maximum size rooming house. So it is a significant investment. I think what helped ease that concern was the confidence that we could deliver, both in terms of build quality, which means that the rental outcome will also be very good. When you're investing a large amount of money, knowing that the returns are going to stack up makes it worthwhile. So there was a lot of communication. So during the plans and permits process, there's a lot of communication with us. During the build process, ourselves and the builder were very thorough with updates. So the communication throughout the build was excellent. Because the construction period was so fast, at just over 3 months, there wasn't a huge need for constant back and forth. I'd say most updates came through milestone inspections and building surveyor reports, which clearly showed the progress and everything was on track. The biggest standout I wouldn't say it was any particular milestone, but I think just the biggest standout in general was the speed. So both the planning endorsement and the construction phase moved very quickly. Seeing the build progress so fast and reach handover without delays was a major highlight for the client. I think there's one main challenge was around the power connections. So like many projects, there can be delays, additional costs pushed by the relevant authority. We're able to push the process forward and get the power connected sooner, which helped keep the build along. Aside from that, this was one of the smoothest projects we've delivered in a long time. Speed was a huge one, but also the fact that the final design was exactly what we had come up with. The quality of finishes is excellent. It's a very functional 9-studio rooming house that's been designed properly for long-term performance, both in terms of floor plan and in terms of specifications. At this stage, the expected rental income is around $13,000 per month once everything is fully set up and managed. So once the management team's in place and everything's running smoothly, it should perform extremely well. I think I should say that Super Cashflow Developments has the track record, the experience, and a very clear process. I'd say quite confidently that we're one of the fastest development companies that does rooming houses in Victoria. So when you combine the speed, quality, our knowledge base, experience, when you combine all that with the returns that you can generate, that's why clients choose to work with us.